you know, outside, you know, in the world, for example, just in general. And there's so much to articulate from that experience. And I want you to be able to, you know, tell us what you have seen, what you have learned, and what you are now doing with all that experience all together, especially given you're also called the president's, you know, photographer. And I mean, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, former president, and now, of course, current president, William Ruto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Emmanuel, let's begin from the time that you were mentored, you know, by this legendary individual who also, you know, worked closely with the late Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes, I call him Mr. Guru. I got lucky, just we got connected online, and he happened to be a Martin Luther King photographer, and we went to the same college. I mean, different times, but same college in Chicago, and that's why we connected, and he mentored me for 3 months before he moved to California due to sickness. But I think that's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, that period. Like, he took me under his wings, and he taught me a lot of things that you cannot find it anywhere.
I get that, but explain to us the core thing. You know, mentorship is a lot of things, and one of the things that photographers or creatives are made fun of is when you're having to shoot someone, you have to see something that someone would naturally not see. And even the essence of timing, you know, being somewhere at the right time, at the right place, that intuition to know when to take a particular shot, how to shoot this particular person, and then it ends up as maybe one of the best, you know, pictures, you know, in the world, and it's used over time. So how was that?
Well, basically, one thing that he taught me in his mentorship is either you are born with an eye, or you're born without one, and then you know, you train it, you nurture it. But even if you're born with the eye, you have to nurture your talent. You have to practice. You have to have that passion, and that what puts you aside, differentiates you from the rest of the crowd. You know, it's something in you, that intuition that makes you be somewhere before everybody else, or predicting a moment, you know, or even in portrait photography where you bring in the best of somebody. But that could be, you know, through a lot of help from your personality, from your humility, from your interaction, the first impression that when you see me and talk to me first, you will get comfortable with me, and you will give me the best of you, or you won't feel comfortable and you will hold back. So I wouldn't get a good portrait of yourself. Somebody else will be like, oh, that's not Remy, you know, that's not so and so. But when I give you a good impression, when I just try it through humility and maybe even sense of humor, just to make you feel comfortable and to bring the best of you.
Yeah, I get that. And it can be also intimidating for, let me say, this client on the end. They're meeting you, and maybe they're thinking, this is Emmanuel Jambo. He's done so much, shot different type of people, and who am I? You know, and he's going to shoot me, you know. So how do you also make sure that they feel comfortable with the dynamic of who you are, so they're not looking at you like, and it happens all over the world, you know, these famous photographers, you're like, oh my God, this person shot this so and so, and they want to shoot me, but who am I, you know? So how do you know?
I believe, in my simple opinion, just you know, first of all, you shouldn't be carried away with the whole of who shot. It's such an honor, trust me, you know, to shoot a head of state, to shoot an accomplished person. But I look at it this way too. If I get to have a chance to shoot somebody who is spending 5 years in the street, that person have a story, and that person have something that maybe a head of state don't have it, you know. So saying that is humility, you know. It is such an honor, but don't let it, you know, get into your head, you know. And at the end of the day, is I'm lucky, blessed that I got to shoot certain personalities, you know. But this could happen to anybody. You know, work hard, be present, be somewhere, and then things happen. You know, if you're good at your craft, it's as good as the next person that you can take photo of.
I see.
Yeah.
Right. Let's take a look at your influences. We were speaking before the program began, and you have influences from Egypt. You grew up in Egypt. No, born in South Sudan.
Born in Sudan. Yes.
Yes, born in
Yes.
Sudan.
Yeah.
And grew up in Egypt.
Mhm.
And then now you migrated to the U.S. with your family.
Yeah.
So you have all those influences. So before we even get deeper into that, I want to take you a bit ahead in your career, where you were shooting in Somali.
Yeah.
With the AU, and you had this very life-threatening situation, and you're
Yes.
taking pictures
Yeah.
around the dignitaries. You're this people with, heavy guns, and this is literally still your talent taking you to different parts of the world, but now you're in a war-torn area. Yeah. So give us also the dynamic where it's apart from the creativity and the glamour. Now you're here, and it's a different dynamic. It's politics. It's war. It's a different nuance.
Yeah, so going back to the influence that I had, I was lucky that my childhood I spent a lot of my life in different countries, Was born in Khartoum, and I mean, I have to be Generation Alpha to be born in South Sudan, because South Sudan is
it's
such
a new,
brand
it's a
new country.
relatively,
Yeah.
yes, relatively
So it
new
was
state.
Sudan back
Yeah.
then, and then the family moved to Egypt, then we moved to the States, then I ended up being here, and so the influence is almost like made me a nomadic at the early age, got influenced by different culture, this is like 3-4 countries that had different dynamics. So some years back, we were doing some work with the African Union. We ended up being in Somalia. Beautiful place, just like I guess many countries that it was going through war and instability. But so we went to highlight the good things that happened in Mogadishu, and what happened was the president was passing somewhere very far in the back, and we here with the African Union, and so one of his guards, one of his trucks came and he pointed at us. I was with Dixon Migiro, one of my friends, he's a good writer, and they pointed a technical. That's like the biggest gun that you could ever see.
Yeah.
They pointed us at our vehicle, and our guys came out. They showing IDs, with African Union, with this, and we even had the second in command. I think maybe the deputy mayor or something is with us in the car, but too much commotion, and I thought this is it. I thought this is and the guy was just saying, oh, delete, and then I deleted the photo. He was saying kill picture, so
Yeah.
so I killed the picture.
Yeah.
And
With his very big fire.
yeah, but knowingly that I'll go back to the hotel and I'll retrieve it back with the software, So I let it go, and it was the closest encounter with death, I guess. Yeah, it was. But I mean, an hour later you'll forget this, and then you're able to capture beauty of Mogadishu that you never thought existed.
So when you have contrasts like that, what changes does it bring to you, as a person and in your career? Because some people never get to experience that side of, work.
Yeah.
You always want to speak about, like I said, the amazing parts.
The glamorous part, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, shooting with dignitaries. But now here you are close to death, and it's still the same work, with a very big establishment, and now you're facing that type of thing. What kind of change does it bring in you?
It just teaches you that life could be short, and life different predicament. Being humble, I've seen, like I said, I've seen the second in command of the whole city begging a junior, I don't know if he was army or police, to put his gun down, and begging our security to put their guns down. It's like humility and how to get yourself out of bad situation, you know, with just with a simple, better communication, you know. So life could be short, and photography is just like many other jobs. There's the good, there's the ugly, there is bad situations, but at the end there is unremarkable beauty about it, you know. From this predicament to having an amazing memories that, you know, will be there forever. You know, I like my best memories now is like I've never seen a beach that beautiful. I forgot about the gun incident.
Yes, that country does have beautiful
and the
beaches.
best seafood. Yeah,
it does have. It's true.
And I found out that James Brown was there in the 70s performing.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's rich history. Despite everything, rich history.
Exactly.
Let's take a look at your signature, Emmanuel. You have a particular signature. When did you land on your signature style of shooting, and how does it come about?
You know, it's very important to have a signature or a niche, or especially, you know, now photography is changing, is evolving. Creativity is still the same, but the technicality is changing. I came in a time when, you know, it's all about, you know, good camera sharpness and clear cameras, and I remember I've always loved black and white, and I think that I came at a time that it was considered, I guess, I don't know, classic. Black and white is classic, but it's something that I liked. It's an influence that I had from my oldest sister, who was doing photography when I was a kid. So she was always in a dark room developing black and white, you know, of regular pictures on the streets. So, and then I got influenced by other photographers that they're more of the style of more of a documentary. Because even when I got into the industry of wedding photography, I wasn't too impressed by only pose photography.
I see.
And if it's pose, because I loved fashion too. If it's pose, one of my my first years in photography back in Atlanta, it was the Atlanta Fashion Week and models, and so I loved the way how fashion they pose themselves. So I took that into the wedding photography, which is like a bit different, you know. It's like people are used to like just pose like this. So no, I took it,
classic.
I put that fashion into it, and then the biggest influence in my style is the candid documentary style, which is just moment as it happened, you know, black and white, in depth, you know, intimate moments, and that's what I think I've been known for.
I see. Yes, black and white.
Yeah.
They're very, there's a particular aesthetic they bring. I've seen a lot of that, especially when you're doing the true love, you know, pictures and the like.
Yes.
Let's take a look at now what most people, you know, keep talking when they talk about Emmanuel Jambo, which is now the shooting of the dignitaries, shooting of the presidents. And it's not just the president, like, you know, former President Uhuru Kenyatta and now William Ruto. It is basically even the other leaders that you've been able to shoot. There's a particular trust, and you know, they can be fussy, you know, especially there's time, you know, there's so many dynamics that you have to consider. It's not just that you have the opportunity to shoot this person. There's a whole lot. You know, there's their dynamic, whether they're free, whether they're not, you know, all those things. So how do you end up dealing with such, you know, characters? It's not just, I'm not saying that other people have simple characters, but it's also you're shooting the office. And not just this individual, the personality in the office.
Well, you know, honestly speaking, as long as you are professional, and you respect their time.
What do you call professional to you? How do you define that?
Professional is like
that person is.
Professional is a lot of things. It's being prepared. Prepare yourself. Do your homework. Prepare yourself. Study the subject. You know, respecting their time. Respecting the time is, you know, if a head of states wanted to do a shoot at 7 in the morning, be there by 6 a.m. Prepare everything, be ready, because this is
Are
a
they
person
usually
who...
there by 6 a.m., Emmanuel?
Yes.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
His Excellency, Mr. Ruto, is very good with time. It's like when he says 7, 6:50, he's ready, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Right.
And so is Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta. You know, like, you just have to be ready, well prepared, you know, be professional, be easy. They are, at the end of the day, they are just like you and me. You know, they are human beings. They want to have fun. They want something done. They want to present themselves. So they put themselves in your hand. You know, so it's your job to present them the best way possible. You know, they're human beings. They laugh. They smile. They don't know how to sit.
I
You know,
see.
yeah, they could be awkward. They just like you and me. You know, so you talk to them, and that's by doing your homework. You know, you see what suit them very well, and a lot of the time too, they know, or they have an idea of how they want to look like. So your ideas, their ideas, you bring something nice. You know, like I dealt with other head of states, Mr. Rupia Banda, who was the president of Zambia. You know, is such a bubbly guy. You know, most of the time don't know how to pose, blah blah.
Yeah.
So, but he will
Yeah.
he will just leave it in your hand. You know, he will just let you do what you do. You know, Mr. Obama, amazing. You know,
Yeah,
he had the
there's that
swag.
also, yeah.
He had the swag. You know, so if you tell
It
him
is
just
like-
if you tell him
yeah.
do this, he will even add his own flavor.
Yeah, to it.
Yeah.
Because I saw Syrian African Voices where you were telling this individual in the story, you know, hey, you know, you're going to smile for me. And then he's like, oh, let me give you a smile at this moment. Because like you said, some of them may be awkward with it, and the humanness is, you know, definitely, you know.
That's true. I mean, you know, it's the same like how we approach life in a different way, different time, different personalities. You know, we got some old school guys who think smiling on the camera it shows weakness or just not appropriate.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yes.
putting hands in your pocket is
And
not
it's still-
appropriate.
yeah, it's still pop culture, man. Emmanuel, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
just like, why are you smiling for like week? Like, don't you have like, you know, a stank face? Just show your.
The more you know you like this, the more
Yeah.
serious you are.
Yeah.
And but it's not. But it's just your job to try to explain to them, you know. And if they, you know, if they agree with you, then it's amazing. If not, then what can you do? You know, you just present them. And you know, sometimes certain people look really nice, like a pit bull. You know, so
Fair. Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Let's take a look at now, when you're looking at all these influences and the experiences, they change you, especially when you have to go country to country. You're shooting different things and people. So you have to understand how some cultures will allow you to do this or not, depending on the kind of shoots you have. And then now you have been in the echelons of power, right? So there's a balance. There's tradition, you know, with culture and, you know, particular things you're shooting and people and that kind of exposure, you know. So how do you find your balance in not translating different situations to this particular thing? Like just bringing out the uniqueness of that, because now there's a lot on you. When you're sitting there, there's a lot you carry.
yeah,
You
that's
know?
true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
how are you able to narrow down?
I think I tried. You know, my early career is like you're in the studio, you wanting to, you know, shoot fashion, mostly
Yeah.
glam and all of these things, you know, and I tried. Luckily, I got to do a lot of work. I still do with like UNHCR, UN work, humanitarian work, what they call, and I get to go to the refugee camp.
Yeah.
Many here, Ethiopia, Northern Kenya, Uganda, and I think something happened there that really, you know, touched because that could have been me. You know, I come from this background that a country was in war.
Yeah.
wasn't there, but that could have been me, you know. So it kind of kept me grounded, and it taught me that there is another side of photography, or another side of, so I don't need to be, you know, to change or to do anything, you know, like there is beauty in every stages in your career, or any type of documentation, you know. It's not all about glam. It's beautiful, you know. I've done London, Paris, New York Fashion Week, but, you know, all it. But at the end of the day, I still love going in the street and do street photography. Nowadays, one of my favorite things to do is, like, if I go shoot a wedding in Asia, in India, I take 3 days or 4 days just to be in the streets, just to see what's in the street, you know. Like they always say, the streets teach you a lot, you know. So somehow, even you can find fashion in the street, you know.
It's true.
You can find a lot of characters in the street, you know. You freeze time in the street. Here inside, this could be made up. The street would not lie, you know. The background, the way you dress, it's not a structure. That's the time. That's how it's gonna look like. 10 years from now, it's gonna change. 5 years from now, it's gonna change. 20 years from now, it's gonna. So I always try to balance, you know, shooting this high-end wedding, you know, glamorous people, you know, fashion here, and then the next day I'm in the street, you know. Sometimes I pick up my camera, I just walk in Uhuru Park and just see what everybody's doing.
And,
you know?
And from your observation, from everything, what does it tell you? What do you capture the most from human beings on their day-to-day life?
It's daily essence of any human being, you know. It's and mind you, the street too, it connects a lot of people too. So while you're in the street, somebody could be getting off from their car, high-end car, and they will meet, you know, somehow. Like even it's a short distance that you're going into an expensive big building, and then another person who's been sleeping in the street. So you will meet somehow, you know. So it's show me different angles, different dynamics of our character, our lives, our, you know, our pockets.
So the camera doesn't lie.
Yeah, the camera don't lie. It will tell you just right there. It is what it is, pretty much.
Yeah. And what do you appreciate about? Are there things that you appreciate right now about the changes in photography in the industry?
Definitely. Photography has changed, oh my goodness. And I'm sure people before me, before us, they will say the same thing. Remember the famous incident with Kodak when they were #1 in everything, you know, and they refused to move to the digital, and now nobody knows Kodak. All we can say is Kodak moment, that's it.
The phrase remained.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But human beings are scared of change always, you know. But not every change is bad, you know. You stick to what you love, you know. Adapt, try to adapt, try to work around it, you know. Now you have a lot of Photoshop. Photoshop is
it's working
everywhere.
Overtime.
Yeah, but you see, that's what happened there is made people appreciate the originality and the raw photography more, actually. Yeah, you know. So now you see a lot of fashion shoots, and you see it's just raw. Nobody want
over-edited.
Over-edited. Nobody want too much manipulation. You know, they want and that's when you get the utmost respect of, like, you not making that situation up. It just you have to be there at the right time. You have to capture it. You have to take it back to where light and shadows and, you know, and moments, you know, and timing. That's it. You know, very decisive moments. So, but there are some other stuff that in this new technology that you can apply just, you know, like, I mean, the way AI or Photoshop where you can remove things that unwanted at that, you know, at that moment, or you can add, you know. So you can find your way around it, you know. But if you stick to your gun and what, you know, if that's what you do, you are a Photoshopper, or you love to manipulate things, there is beauty in it, and there is people who will appreciate it, you know. And if you love the raw way of photography, it's beautiful,
well.
and there's people will love it, you know. So it's you just have to learn to adapt and to get the benefits from it, and you can reject of what you don't want.
All right.
Yeah.
Right, Emmanuel. So we'll take a short break, and I think when we come back, we'll speak about now the financial angle, which I think most people like, you know, how can I make this moolah from all this? We're taking a short break. We'll be back with more of this conversation. Stay with us.
It's time to turn up the heat with the ultimate reggae and dancehall experience.
Welcome, boy. And them say, here comes trouble, here comes the danger, here comes the danger.
Every